And you've got people who are not even trained in the basic, most rudimentary science of all, which is logic, trying to make policy changes on a global and international scale. How are you going to find resolutions for all that? Look at what transpired during the whole Circus 19. And what were our ulama doing? Oh, you know, the Prophet said, if there is plague here, you don't go there, and if there is plague there, and you come there, and you go there, and you come like this. This is what they were doing. Is there any scholar that anyone found who could provide you with a proper, rational, sensible explanation for what is happening and what Muslims are supposed to do? What did they do? They shut down the masajid. They have no principle to stand on, and therefore they had to take a knee. So when the poison, those who made the poison said close the masjid, they closed the masjid. No rational explanation, no reasonable explanation, nothing sensible in what they were doing. Or limit only 10 people. So when the 11th person comes, they close the door and tell him to go away. How does that work? Where's the rationality in that? And if you ask them for an explanation, they can't give you an explanation because they don't even know what to define what it is that they're dealing with. They cannot even formulate a definition of what it is that they're dealing with. They don't have a basic comprehension of it. How are they going to formulate judgments and come up with sophisticated reasons and arguments with which to counter the policies that were being enacted on them? And now they have no leg to stand on. They have got no principles. You see, this is tragedy upon tragedy because the rudimentary understanding of things is not applied in society. And it begins with simple education. It's not difficult. Logic is not difficult. In our tradition, they were teaching logic to 12-year-olds. At the age of 12 and 13, children were being taught logic. We're here at the age of 40 and we can't understand logic. It's a very strange environment that we're living in. But it's got its importances and it's got its benefits, and it is vital. It is a requirement because people are going into different kinds of study and they don't even have these basic understandings. They're trying to understand the words of the Quran, and then they come up with all sorts of nonsensical explanations that themselves they cannot see where their fault is, where they've made the mistake, or where their fallacies lie, because they don't even know what a fallacy is. Or they're going into different kinds of sciences and coming up with conspiracy theories from that. Now you've got Muslims starting to say things like the earth is flat because the Quran says the ha. How do you come up with that? I mean, it's very strange that how we have reduced ourselves in our we were a civilization that was formidable for our capacity to think and to analyze and to. Now we're just the scum of the earth. Really, this is what we are. We get excited when the adhan is allowed to be said on the loudspeaker. That's the limitation of how much exhilaration we have. We don't get excited to learn something new or to study something new.